5 months ago, I got laid off. And I took it about as well as anybody would take it in this economy. At the time, it felt like something that was happening to me. And I was scared, I was nervous, and I was spiraling. Eggs are $11. But now, 5 months removed from it, it feels like something that was happening for me. And probably one of the best things that could have happened. For starters, it made the hard decision for me. Mentally, I had already decided that job was not a great fit. I was working in corporate for the first time. I was the only Black woman working in my entire company. And just navigating day-to-day conversations, going through the office, not seeing anyone that looked like me, not talking with anyone that spoke like me, it was very uncomfortable, especially if you're investing 40 hours a week into going someplace and committing your time. I couldn't be myself. I found myself masking, trying to assimilate to culture that just was not familiar with me. It took a lot of mental work. It was like an additional task on top of the long laundry list of tasks I already had to do.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
On top of that, it also wasn't a personality fit for me either. I'm pretty sure I'm someone who is undiagnosed with ADHD. Focus, attention, time blindness are all things that have plagued me. I was working as a marketing manager, which was essentially just like a revolving door of clients with so many different needs, so many different requests, and it just meant that things were always constantly changing. Someone who kind of needs a routine, who needs structure, who needs to like know what's coming next so I can actually thrive. It was very stressful for me. So I kind of already knew that it wasn't like a great fit. But while it wasn't a great fit culturally or personality wise, financially, it was doing what it needed to do. I was making the most money I had ever made at the time. I was finally able to take trips and buy the things I wanted to buy and live the life that I wanted to live. And so the money made sense. I was still overworked and underpaid, but the money was the reason that I stayed, for that financial stability, which kind of takes me to like my second point. Getting laid off showed me that a corporate job isn't as secure as everyone would like us to believe. I'm a first generation kid of two Jamaican parents who moved here to better themselves and, make a better life for me and my sister. Since I was a kid, it was just drilled in my head to go to school and get good grades so that I could get a good job. I was such a creative kid. I had so many creative interests. I loved to draw, I loved to dance, I loved to sing, and I was dissuaded from so many of my actual passions to get a job that would make me good money. That is what we're told. You go to college and you get a job and you're going to be set for life. You can buy a house, you could buy a car, you could take care of your family. So I did that. I went to college. I did all of the things that they told me to do, and I was miserable. I wasn't happy. I hated that shit. Yet and still, I came to work every day. I did the job I was supposed to do. And one day they just decided they didn't want me anymore. Not to any fault of my own. Simply because they were making financial cuts. They were moving things around and I had to go. And so it kind of just broke that myth that I had been holding on to my whole life. I can't chase after my creative ambitions because I need to get a real job. I need to get a job that's stable and secure. No job is stable or secure. No job is promised to you. So if I was just going to be miserable working at a job that I hated, I'd rather take a chance and, do something that I actually like. Another thing that, getting laid off and this time has given to me was the first time I've ever been able to just rest. Ever since I started working, I've never been without a job because society tells you you're a bum. Society tells you that you're a loser if you just simply do not have a job. So I've always kept a job. And when I didn't like the job, I went and got another one, and I went and got another one. But I've never just had time to just chill and reflect. Once I started working in corporate, I traded time to cook healthy meals and time to go to the gym, time investing in hobbies for long work hours after I was supposed to clock out. Anxiety riddled thoughts that followed me even into the weekend. I mean, I would be sitting at the beach on a day off and I would be hearing phantom pings from the Slack, just wondering what I had forgotten, what work I hadn't done. It's been really nice to just rest and get back into prioritizing me. And this didn't just start because in that first month, I was spiraling. I was throwing applications at anybody that would read them. But I needed to rest. I needed to get out of burnout. These jobs give you 10, 15 days of vacation day, and they think that those 15 days is gonna prevent all the burnout. That's gonna take away your burnout. It's gonna wipe it out. And that's just not true. Burnout took away my creative thoughts. My creativity was now a product of work. I was literally squeezing every ounce of creativity out of my brain like a fucking rag for the last 4 years, and I didn't have any.
Forget about what that word means! There's a fire breaking out in the language law!
Essentially what I'm saying, burnout is something you can't fix in a week. You may not be able to fix it in a month. It takes time. Getting laid off finally allowed me to get the rest that I needed to recover from burnout. Another thing that I really took away from getting laid off is truly understanding what is important to me, things that I value. It wasn't all bad working at that job. There were a lot of good things. Working with that corporate company showed me how I want someone that I'm working for to treat me. I was able to go on all expenses paid trips, from the Uber, private transportation, flights, hotel, everything paid on the company dime. And I love that amount of money I was making. I was able to take dream vacations that I've always wanted to take but just could not afford. So I went to Hawaii, I went to Thailand by myself, I went to Bali, and I'd spared no expense. I'm staying at 4 to 5 star hotels. I'm dining at Michelin rated restaurants. I'm able to finally enjoy these finer things. And now that I've had a taste of that, I'm not giving that up. I'm not giving that up. So I do really appreciate that. But the biggest lesson, the biggest takeaway that I have received after getting laid off is now I have purpose. Hearing someone tell you that you no longer have a job is a very powerless feeling. I never want to feel like that ever again. No one will ever have the ability to tell me I don't have a job. So moving forward, I just decided to bet on myself. Me, 5 months ago, was ready to dive back into the job search. I was going to update my resume. I was going to start prepping for interviews, brushing myself up to sell myself up and hopefully get chosen. But I don't want to be chosen anymore. I want to do the choosing. I'm going to choose me. I'm going to invest in myself and put all this time and effort I could be putting into making myself the model employee to making me the boss that I feel like I'm meant to be. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? I've done the job. I've done the career and I've hated all of it. I don't like being told what to do. I like to march to the beat of my own drum. It feels like getting laid off has finally painted that picture for me. And for the first time in my life, I'm just excited with not knowing what's next. I'm betting on me and I'm just excited for what's to come.